As a college student on vacation, I work part-time as a game companion. A colleague earnestly told me, remember one rule. A game companion must not like the boss. I kept this firmly in mind. When the boss confessed to me, I directly said harsh words and then blocked. Deleted him in one go. What a close call. I almost violated a major taboo in the industry. The next day, a hot search on Weibo. The young master of the Beijing circle was dumped in online dating. I took a closer look. The young master released a screenshot of a flight ticket from Beijing to Guangzhou. Lulu. Wait for me. Lulu is my online alias. I'm done for. There are a lot of people on the internet guessing who Lulu is. Some say it's the alternate account of a popular actress because she once posted a photo with Avi Gale. Others say it's a certain rich lady because she is just traveling in the south recently. In any case, the game companion studio has good confidentiality. No one has found out that dear is me. I showed the chat records to my best friend. Don't you think there's something a bit too ambiguous between us? Me, how could it be? Baby? Why don't we give it a try? I want to meet you. Me, you are really a crazy and scheming peer man. You spent money to buy my emotional value and still want to cheat on my feelings by the way. There is no such thing as killing two birds with one stone. Goodbye and don't send me off. After reading it, my best friend fell into a long silence. I blinked pitifully. Do you think I still have a chance? Best friend, how should I put it? My evaluation is that this is hard to judge. I am a die-hard fan of this young master. The money I earn is all used to buy his merchandise. Now I have scolded the idol badly. The idol is on his way to settle scores. What kind of death is more beautiful? Urgent. Waiting online. A luxury car stopped directly downstairs of my house, causing neighbors to discuss it enthusiastically. This car must be worth a lot of money. The owner is so young. At first glance, he is a rich second generation. When my mom came back from buying groceries, she also gossiped and pulled me to discuss. There is a handsome young man leaning against the car door and waiting for a long time. Is this the scene of a domineering president chasing a runaway lil wife? I said helplessly, Mom, read less romance novels. I quietly opened the curtain and looked downstairs. There was indeed a man standing in front of the luxury car, wearing sunglasses and a windbreaker. Oh my. He is over 1.8 meters tall with extremely long legs. He seemed to sense my gaze and looked up. The corner of his mouth suddenly curved playfully. Opening and closing his mouth, he silently said two words. Come down. Oh no. My heart is beating a little fast. Actually, I don't want to go down. But I still have classes today. I wrapped myself up tightly. But his car was parked on my only way. I had to sneak around the car. But in the next second, I was lifted back like a little chick. The man's tone was a bit cold. Pretending not to see? Where are you going to hide? I advise you not to waste your effort. I can easily find you no matter where you hide. As expected of the young master. He is so confident. I gave myself a hard slap in my heart. At this time, why are you still being infatuated? I weakly defended. You misunderstood. I am going to school. Darden opened the car door. Get in. I'll take you. No need. Actually, I can get there in just a few steps. Get in. The tone was very dangerous. As if saying, if you dare to make me say it a third time, you are dead. Okay. Young master. I quickly sat in the passenger seat. The car door was closed forcefully. I really feel sorry for the car. He is very angry. This is of course. The stern jawline. The veins on the back of the hand. The rolling Adam's apple. All are explaining this fact. Have you seen enough? I immediately looked away. Yes. I don't know how the sentence offended Darton again. For a moment, I felt that the temperature in the car dropped by several degrees. After a long time, he said coldly, am I poor? I immediately replied, "How could it be? Young master, you are extremely wealthy. If you are said to be poor, there would be no rich people in the world. Am I scheming? I am the first to disagree. You are known for being handsome and kind-hearted. What scheming? It doesn't exist. Am I crazy?" I realized it. This is about the words I sent before blocking and deleting him on WeChat. I gave an awkward smile. This is just a misunderstanding. He seemed to look down on my sycophantic appearance. He glanced at me. "We're here. Get out." Darton parked the car downstairs of the teaching building. Outside the car window, people were coming and going. Most of them were students holding textbooks. I breathed a sigh of relief. At least I don't have to die now. I couldn't wait to get out of the car. "Wait." The Grim Reaper called from behind. I turned back with a bitter face. "What's wrong?" Darton was wearing sunglasses. His expression was not very clear. "When will your class end?" Although I don't know why he asked this. I still answered honestly. "There are 4 classes in the morning. It ends at 12:30. "Okay. If you don't come down at 12:30, you know what will happen." "Well, young master." My classroom is on the 8th floor. The elevator is very crowded. Can I be late?" "That is not just crowded. That is equivalent to line 2 of the subway. To get me down on time. Unless I take a shortcut and reach directly. I mean the flying person route." Seemingly not expecting that this was what I was going to say, his cold aura relaxed a little. I clearly saw a strong sense of speechlessness from him. He took off his sunglasses and leaned forward slightly. I was a little nervous. Oh no. Is he so angry that he is going to hit me? However, Darton just reached out and brushed the stray hair on my forehead to the side. That faint grassy fragrance rushed into my nose. It was a fleeting touch. He withdrew his hand. The roots of his ears were suspiciously red. His tone was still very flat. "Avi Gale, I want to pick you up after school. Find a place to talk things through with you. So take your time. No matter how long it takes. I'll wait. But don't disappear. Do you understand?" Oh my. This guy is so good. My heart is pounding like a drum. To cover up my embarrassment, I nodded vigorously. "Yes, sir. I completely understand." He couldn't help but curve his lips. "Get lost." After getting out of the car, my heartbeat gradually calmed down. It's impossible to say that I don't expect it when my idol also likes me. But I know that Darton can't like me. I used to post some singing videos on short video platforms intermittently. But I was never popular. Until one day, Bernardo sent me a private message. "Your voice is very distinctive. Have you considered becoming a game companion? The benefits in our studio are very good." Bernardo is a full-time technical game companion who specializes in taking people to win in the King's Canyon. With a try-it-out mentality, I joined the studio and quickly received my first order. The boss of the first order asked about my background, like checking household registration. The boss of the second order made vulgar jokes. The boss of the third order scolded me terribly because we were losing. If I met such a man usually, I would have scolded him so badly that he wouldn't know which way is up. Considering that Bernardo recommended me to this studio, it doesn't matter if I get a bad review from the boss. But I don't want to cause him to lose his job. So I can only endure it. At this time, the jungle or who was godlike in the team spoke up. "Ignore him. Come with me. A useless person doesn't deserve a support." The boss broke down and scolded. "This is the game companion I ordered." "Who are you?" The jungle or said calmly. "Come with me. I'll place 100 orders for you." Someone stood up for me. And the voice is the kind of young man's voice that I like. I felt warm inside. I directly left the boss and ran over to follow the jungler. The boss sneered and said, "Do you really think this poor guy can place 100 orders for you? He still acts like a hero with the cheapest skin. What kind of hero-saving beauty is he playing? Has the poor delivery guy finished delivering food?" Since I had completely offended him, I directly passionately retorted, A maggot pretending to be a butterfly? A loach in a little seawater really thinks it's seafood? Oh, so what? And then? Others don't even need to find a toilet when going to the bathroom. They can just poop in your mouth. Anyway, it's equally stinky. The boss was so scolded that he directly hung up in the fountain. A jungler led me to defeat the enemy team, with 2 people against 5 and dropped a sentence. Useless. Learn from it. Okay. He is so cool. I like it. After the game, the jungler asked me, how can I place an order? I said, you really want to place an order? I had already made up my mind to pay the studio myself. It's like spending money to vent this anger. He said, do I look like someone who likes to talk big? This is how I met Darton. Later, I told Bernardo, it's over. I seemed to like him a little. Bernardo was extremely alarmed. You mustn't. A game companion must never like the boss. Why? Bernardo told me a bunch of tragic stories of game companions who liked the boss but ended up not making money and being cheated of body and heart. Summary: business is business. Business cannot be mixed with feelings. If feelings are mixed in, business becomes dirty. I was greatly amazed. I didn't know that the game companion business was so complicated. I curiously asked again, I don't like the boss. But it should be okay if I make the boss like me. Right? Bernardo said, of course. Only if he likes you will he continue to place orders for you. Okay, I understand. I took the initiative to send a private message to Darton. Brother, has anyone ever said that your voice is very similar to someone? It's like my idol. I thought this in my heart but said, my sweetheart. Okay. It seems that he doesn't like this kind of routine. A cold guy. I changed the way. I mean, you placed an order for me before. I can't take the money for nothing. So, shall we log in? Log in. Concise. From then on, Darton would unfailingly find me to play 2 or 3 games every day. He would always carry the game. When I played as Yao and hung on his head, I had few chances to refresh the shield in the whole game. The opponents couldn't touch him at all. We gradually got familiar. He still talked very little, but he would respond to every sentence when I shared my daily life. I realized this indulgence and started to push my walk and talk nonsense. Young master, guess what constellation I am? I am made for you. Baby, do you know what my shortcoming is? Lacking you. Brother, I just had a little porridge. Missing you every week. Darton was always speechless, full of lies. I smiled and said, how could it be? I am 100% sincere without any falsehood. I acted for so long that I almost believed it myself. But the internet is the internet. It is something ethereal. After learning that he had also ordered other game companion girls in the studio, I recognized this. We still played games and chatted as usual. But I no longer put in any emotion. My best friend sent a message. How's the situation? I replied, good news. I'm fine. Bad news. After school. It's hard to say. Best friend said, Avi Gale. Do you think the young master really likes you? Chasing you all the way. This is so romantic. You also said this is chasing. The young master is purely finding me to settle scores because he found that he was played by a woman and lost face. Best friend. No way. I heard that people who are targeted by the young master usually end up very badly. I said weakly, as his fan. Don't I know? As the saying goes, when being beaten, stand still. When admitting mistakes, be positive. I can be flexible. At worst, I'll kowtow to him a few times. As soon as the bell rang after class, I rushed out as if there were ghosts chasing after me. I managed to catch the first batch of elevators. After finally reaching downstairs, I saw that luxury car parked across the street without even moving its position. I felt a tingling sensation on my scalp. Just as I was about to walk over, suddenly someone stopped me. Amidst the whistles and cheers of a group of boys, a handsome junior walked out. blushing and a bit nervous. Senior. What a coincidence. I was a bit anxious but still raised a smile and nodded. What a coincidence. In fact, I didn't remember who he was at all. He seemed to have noticed and scratched his head. Senior. I participated in club activities with you before. We also added each other on WeChat. I remembered. Oh. Right. Is there something? Today is Women's Day. This is for you. The boy stuffed a bouquet of flowers into my arms. His companions teased. Yo yo yo. On Women's Day. Why don't you give it to others and only give it to Senior? Senior. This guy likes you. That. I held the flowers and hesitated on how to refuse without hurting the junior's heart. But these people seemed to have completed their task and quickly ran away. Back in the car. A cold air hit me and I sneezed directly. A piece of paper was handed over from the side. I subconsciously took it and rubbed my nose. Is the air conditioning temperature a bit too low? Darton adjusted the buttons while saying coldly, throw away the flowers. I didn't understand. Why? Are you allergic to pollen? He took a deep breath. I didn't know where I had offended this young master. But I still explained. He hasn't gone far yet. It's not good to waste other people's kindness like this. Right? He snatched the flowers and threw them out. Oh no. I was wrong. He threw them to the back seat. Then he stepped on the gas pedal and drove silently. In a very long 10 minutes. The air was deathly silent. I felt like every second was like a year. I couldn't help but ask, where are you taking me? I said earnestly, remind you that human trafficking is illegal. I cautiously probed. Of course. I'm just saying. The young master is above board and definitely won't do such a thing. Right? He sneered 3 times. It's not good to waste other people's kindness? Aren't you quite good at this kind of thing? This was a bit of an irrelevant answer. I felt puzzled. Where am I good at it? How many people are you fishing for online? It's work. I'm not fishing. How many people are you dating in reality? Not dating. My voice gradually became confident. You answer back every time I say something? Dare not. I was not very convinced in my heart. I was wrong in not scolding him. But in the matter of being a game companion, it was consensual. I didn't think I had cheated on his feelings. But in front of him, I just couldn't hold my head up. It must be because of his innate superior aura. The evil bourgeoisie. It wasn't until we arrived at Xiangming residence that I was sure that Dart, and didn't want to sell me but wanted to invite me to eat. The waiter led us directly to the 4th floor. The attitude was quite attentive. When I was playing games before, I complained to Darton, there is a restaurant that is very strange. It has 4 floors in total. The first floor is 100 yuan buffet. The per capita consumption on the second floor is thousands of yuan for ordering. The third floor is even more exaggerated. 10,000 yuan can only buy an admission ticket. Darton asked, what about the 4th floor? It was always like this. I babbled a lot. He occasionally replied, but I like this way of chatting very much. I said enthusiastically, the 4th floor is quite mysterious. There has never been any online pictures or prices. Everyone says it is used for banquets for princesses and young masters. He said, well, not bad. Have a chance to take a look. I thought this was showing off just right. I also replied, I think they should build a 5th floor. Build a separate floor for you. Only then can it be worthy of the young master status. It was a joke at that time. I didn't expect it to come true. In the huge space on the 4th floor, there was a piano and many jade carvings. The floor was made of some kind of stone. It was polished brightly. The food was also all delicacies. The appearance was exquisite. It seemed to require a lot of knife work. I was busy eating and drinking. For a moment, the feeling of a sword hanging over my head disappeared. Until Darton suddenly asked, how is the 4th floor? With something in my mouth. I nodded vaguely. Super good. It's just a bit dim. Okay. A familiar feeling of a sword hanging over my head came again. I couldn't figure it out. The waiter nearby kindly reminded, "Miss, this is a candlelight dinner." Ah, this. I really didn't notice this. It's all because the food is so delicious. After the meal, Darton took me to buy clothes again and specifically asked me to try on those few pieces. I realized belatedly. Isn't this the red carpet style that a certain star that I said I liked very much? He is so good to me. Really or not? I was a bit hesitant. Well, you won't be planning to make me fall in love with you, and then dump me mercilessly to take revenge on me for insulting you, right? Darton looked at me. Surprisingly, he wasn't angry. Instead, he reached out and propped himself against the wall next to me. He stared at me with a pair of dark eyes. There seemed to be a vortex in them that would suck me in. He lowered his voice. "So, have you fallen for it?" I hesitated for a moment. Then I thought, this is a good opportunity to make the young master calm down. I must act extremely heartbroken and pitiful. I built up my emotions. My eyes gradually became moist. It seemed that I was really a bit sad. Suddenly, Darton let go and said coldly, "Forget it. Don't say it. I don't want to hear it." How can you not cooperate when my acting desire comes up? You are too much. Moreover, he said he wanted to talk things through with me. But in fact, he didn't say anything. Just now during the meal, he didn't even move his chopsticks a few times. It's really hard to figure out. It was very late when I got home. Mom was sitting in the living room looking at me teasingly. I tried to explain. I played with friends until it was late. Mom, don't say any more. I understand. I understand everything. It was that handsome young man who took you home, right? Mom saw it. Mom won't interfere with your dating. If you have a partner, just say so. Why are you pretending with Mom? No, forget it. I didn't know how to explain the complicated relationship here. I could only go along with the mistake. When I turned on my phone, I saw the WeChat that Darton ordered me to add again hanging on top. I had to take the initiative to say something. Send a hi emoji? Too perfunctory. Good night? Too ambiguous. At this time, the phone rang. Darton took the initiative to send me a message. Yes, you read it right. A period. This period is really a period. I mean, this period is very round. No, what I mean is, I can't see what profound meaning this period contains at all. At this time, I suddenly had an inspiration, and connected all these strange actions. My flowers seemed not to have been taken out of the car. Throw it away. Okay. Play King of Glory? No, I'm going to sleep. Young master, were you jealous today? Through the screen. I seemed to have great courage. I boldly asked directly, is not speaking an admission? No, not jealous. Not an admission? I breathed a sigh of relief. But strangely, without thinking, I blurted out. I knew the young master wouldn't mind. After all, I am a game companion. It's very normal to call others baby when we are on voice chat. What's a bouquet of flowers? Right? Dang on. Now I was really confused. Aren't you going to sleep? Dang on. Okay. Now even without tone, I can sense that this means, don't make me say it a third time. I replied, okay. I'll be there soon. He is good at playing games. His voice is also pleasant to hear. Who would turn down a chance to gain points? As soon as I logged into the game, Darton sent a game invitation. I clicked in without looking. It was actually a 1v1. I wailed, no way. Young master, you invited me to a one-on-one duel in the middle of the night? But he didn't reply to me and started the game instantly. I took out the queen of one-on-one duels. Dia-chan. Because the impression of Darton being a great player was so deep, I didn't dare to be careless at all. I stayed under the tower before reaching level 4. When I reached level 4, he had already pulled 100 U on economic gap, with one less piece of equipment. I didn't want to fight him at all, but he was too aggressive and pushed into the tower. I dodged the skills with excellent positioning and finally killed him with a sliver of health left. This gave me great confidence. I thought, even if you are good, you can't attack Daiachin under the tower. You really don't take Daiachin seriously. When he responded, I confidently walked out of the tower and fought back and forth with him. Finally, I won narrowly with a score of 3-3. I was extremely proud. Although I often play as a support, I still have some skills. Darton's tone was calm. Another round. There is a saying, the calmer the sea surface, the more turbulent the waves underneath. I didn't dare to show off anymore. I comforted him. Don't be angry. The hero Daiachan is already very strong. It's not because you are not good enough. Darton said nothing and started the game. I continued to choose Daiachan. And he chose a different hero. When I saw it, I was happy. Isn't this little squishy hero easily beaten by me? I had already started to plan how to give him kills subtly. But less than 3 minutes into the game, I realized something was wrong. How is it like he's a different person? I couldn't hit him. I couldn't hit him at all. I couldn't even touch him. As soon as I got close, I died. At the end of this game, I was beaten to a score of 13-0. Darton stood in front of my fountain and clicked surrender. Humiliation. Naked humiliation. My competitive spirit was aroused. I'm not convinced. Another round. This time, Darton chose a different hero. I still had a score of 213-0. Another round. In this way, I was killed by Darton in 1v1 more than 100 times. I have nothing to say. Convinced? Convinced. I was listless. Then sleep. Sleep? Sleep? I'm completely not sleepy after being beaten like this. Recalling the whole story, I gritted my back teeth. Next time I talk nonsense, I'm a dog. Darton picks me up from school and takes me to eat, drink and have fun every day. All are places I mentioned to him before. I finally realized something was wrong and asked that sentence, isn't it a bit too ambiguous between us like this? He glanced at me. How could it be? Baby? I got goosensed. No. This sounds so familiar. Where did I hear it before? Why can't I remember? It's okay. You think slowly. It's not hard to think. Isn't this the Weecha conversation before I blocked him? I was uneasy and asked. Young master, when will you return to Beijing? Not for now. Ah? I bought a house here. Ah? He had an expression of looking at an idiot. Otherwise? I live in a hotel? With a threatening tone. Do you really want me to leave? I quickly shook my head like a rattle. But I was still curious. What exactly are we? Darton's tone was cold as if he was saying who he was going to kill today. We are meal companions. Things still took a turn. A group of people on the internet couldn't guess the identity of Lulu, and couldn't find the young master's trace. The hot search gradually died down. It was replaced by shocking. The young master of the Beijing circle is getting engaged? Darton is getting engaged? He never told me. But we're not in a relationship. It's normal that he didn't tell me. At night, as usual, I invited him to play games. He didn't reply for a long time. I was inexplicably annoyed. I wanted to hear his voice. So I called him. The call was quickly answered. Hello, hello. Who are you? You have a lively and lovely girl's voice. There was also the faint sound of water coming from the other end of the phone. For a moment, I had some difficulty breathing. Hello? Why don't you speak? If you don't speak, I'm going to hang up. I was silent until she hung up. I mentioned this to my best friend and said, I seemed to be expecting him to give me an explanation that day. If he came to Guangzhou to humiliate me, then he may have succeeded. My best friend was extremely shocked. This dead scumbag. Relying on his money. Clearly he is getting engaged but still comes to provoke you. It's so disgusting. When I thought about it. Yes. Why does he? Even if he has money. Good looks. A nice voice. and even his personality perfectly suits my hobbies. Should I be at his beck and call? There are no slaves in New China. When Darton took me to that restaurant again, I directly refused. I don't want to go. He was stunned for a moment, as if he didn't expect me to dare to contradict him. What did you say? My tone changed. I'm tired of it. I don't want to eat. He accepted this reason. Okay. Let's change to another one. No. Now the young master's face darkened a bit. Avi Gale. I raised my head. Very innocent. I have no appetite. Darton softened and rubbed my head. You'd better not be lying to me. I was immediately alarmed. This scumbag still dares to touch me. I need to wash my hair. Darton sent me home. There is a detail here. That is, I think I should be polite to the person who sends me home, so I always obediently watch him drive away before going upstairs. This time I didn't look back and turned around and left. When I got home, Darton senta? I ignored it. In the following time, I kept avoiding Darton, hoping that after he hit many nails with me, he would completely lose interest in me. After all, he doesn't seem like the kind of person who will humble himself to please others. Darton's face really became more and more gloomy, but he didn't show any intention of giving up. Under another look of pressure, I couldn't hold on anymore and said, "Well, young master, I heard that you are engaged." I observed his expression, and found that he didn't show the slightest guilt. He nodded impassively. Who did you hear it from? Oh my. He is so shamelessly a scumbag. I couldn't pretend anymore. My tone was not good. It's all over the internet. Okay? His expression was a bit cold. Are you avoiding me because of this? I couldn't believe my ears. Of course. I think anyone with quality will take the initiative to keep a distance from a man with an engagement. Realizing that my current state was a bit abnormal, I coughed softly and made my expression as calm as his. If you want to use me to anger your fiancée, it's a different price. How are you going to anger her? Oh? Interested? I raised a bright smile. There are many ways. For example, appear in front of her while holding your hand. Let her watch you peel shrimps gently for me. And then I say, "Brother, you are so good to me. Won't sister be jealous?" She will definitely be angry. As long as you give me enough money. You are willing to act with me? Of course. Who would turn down money? As long as there is money. You are willing to call him baby. Have a meal with him. And even pretend to be his girlfriend. Right? This tone. I sensed something was wrong. Are you jealous? Darton was probably so angry that he said, "No." I found it very funny. Why? You already have a fiancé. Because I don't have a fiancé. Even if you don't have one. Ah, well. This. No? For a moment, I was sweating profusely. Then what I saw on the internet is what? It's rumors. I struggled for the last time. Then when I called you that day, I heard a girl's voice. Darton dialed the phone and directly put it on speakerphone. The familiar, lively and lovely female voice came from the other end. "Brother. Dear brother. I have no money again. Send me some money." Darton, who am I? The person on the other end didn't understand but still replied, "You are my brother. My own brother. You won't ignore your poor sister, right?" Dad stopped my card again. "I can only come to you." Darton hung up the phone. The scene fell into a deathly silence for a moment. He looked at me. I looked at him. We looked at each other. Well, young master, I was wrong. I shouldn't have doubted you. He glanced at me and didn't speak. The corners of his eyes were a little red. For some reason, a BGM kept playing in my head. True heartbreak is not making a big fuss. Oh no. I kind of want to laugh. If I laugh in this situation, I'm afraid it will be impossible to coax him for the rest of my life. I confessed. In fact, I haven't called other bosses baby. I only called brother. Baby is exclusive for you. His expression was a bit complicated. It was a state of being happy but also not happy. I took a step forward, held his hand, intertwined our fingers, and let our fingers rub against each other. This kind of body language is sometimes more effective than words. His cold edges visibly softened, but he still looked arrogant. Baby. Don't be angry anymore. Okay? I will never call others baby. Have a meal with others. Or pretend to be others' girlfriend. What you said is impossible. I babbled a lot. He didn't speak. I don't know when. I sat on his lap. His hand was on my waist. The temperature was a bit hot. I realized belatedly, actually, you are not angry anymore, right? Darton looked indifferent. I am angry. Keep coaxing. I was a bit suspicious. Really? I don't quite believe it. Darton directly pinched my chin and kissed me. Our lips touched. I trembled all over. I felt something soft drill in. My nose was filled with his smell. It made me a bit breathless. After the kiss, I took deep breaths. My legs were a bit weak. He was also breathing quickly. It took a long time to recover. He stroked my chin with his fingertip, looking at my slightly trembling pupils. He looked down and taunted. Next time, apologize in this way. Understood? My girlfriend. His tone was like calling my little dog. The person who was really getting engaged was Darton's sister. She came to this city because she was angry with her fiancé. It was also dramatic. The two grew up together. They both liked painting. They both took a fancy to a famous painting. But the fiancé got it first. The sister was so angry that she tore the painting. Father Lu knew his daughter was willful. He stopped her card to show his apology. Later, he found out that the fiancé bought this painting just to please the sister. And the reason why he didn't give it out was because he saw her being intimate with a man at a banquet. The sister was angry not just because of the painting, but because she mistakenly thought that the fiancé was going to give the painting to another woman. Now that the misunderstanding was cleared up, the two happily went back to Beijing to get engaged. Darton held me. Go back together? What for? To get engaged? I asked subconsciously. But in my heart, I was a bit resistant. I am somewhat good-looking. But because of this, I have met many insincere people. Every time I try to open my heart to accept a person, I find that he is flirting with multiple girls at the same time. So across the internet, I was moved by Darton's pure kindness at first. Darton frowned. He seemed unhappy. Go back and find a rope to tie you up so that you can't go anywhere. Stay by my side obediently. I was startled. Baby. I believe you are a law-abiding citizen, right? You don't take the psycho route, right? Don't suddenly turn dark. He sneered. Coward. In the end, Darton and I got married. My best friend said. 6. On the day of our wedding, I posted a WIBO yes. I am Lulu, and it became a hot search again. The hot comments said, congratulations to the young master for successfully chasing his wife thousands of miles. Who says there is no true love in online dating? Look. A textbook example. We didn't settle down in Beijing or Guangzhou. Because Darton bought houses all over the country. Oh no. And all over the world. 365 days a year are really not enough. Netizens are keen to discuss where our IP will change to today every day. At 12:30, I checked in on Chaos Hongchurazine, took a photo and posted it on Weibo. The weather is very good today. Beef balls are very delicious. Darton reposted it with a period. Netizens translated, the young master means, come and see my wife. My wife is so beautiful. My wife is so great. My wife looks delicious too. I found the comment and teased him, young master. Is that what you mean? Yes. Extra Darton's perspective 1. I just wanted to play a game casually. Suddenly, I heard a girl chattering nonstop. Oh my. I am actually the first 4 player on the red side. I heard this position is very unlucky. And teammates who are always complaining and useless. It doesn't matter. Brother. Fortunately, It's me on the first floor. So you can develop safely. She didn't seem to realize that she was on full team chat. She analyzed seriously. The opposite side is Ghost Valley plus UG. There is no tank side. I choose Yao to beautifully counter them. Can I play Yao? If brother doesn't like it, then I won't play it. The shooter typed and replied, whatever. The girl hesitated between Shangfei and Yao. Finally, she chose Yao. She was completely right in her analysis. So I cooperated with them and steadily killed the opposite shooter and support several times. The advantage expanded. Then I went to help other lanes. Without my notice, the shooter with his high economy went to show off and was caught and killed several times by the opposite side. The girl kept comforting gently. There are too many people on the opposite side. How annoying. Brother. Run quickly to me. I'll protect you. Run quickly. Run quickly when people are coming. It can be easily seen that it was this shooter who didn't listen to advice and insisted on going to die. But the shooter suddenly exploded. You talk too much. Do you know it affects my operation a lot? Do I need a soft support like you to teach me? The girl was stunned for a moment. Then she apologized nicely. Sorry, brother. Then I'll talk less. But the shooter seemed to have found an outlet, and kept scolding without stopping. And the girl who had been chattering nonstop was as quiet as if she didn't exist. I was a bit annoyed. Don't care about him. Come with me. A useless person doesn't deserve a support. The girl decisively abandoned the shooter. This made me feel a little better. At least she wasn't so stupid. The shooter said she was a game companion. For making money. No wonder she has such a good temper. The girl suddenly exploded and scolded more, and more fiercely. She was sharp-tongued. Completely different from her previous obedient and cute appearance. There are many such two-faced people around me who say one thing but think another in their hearts. But for her, I had surprisingly no disgust at all. I placed 100 orders for her. She was very enthusiastic towards me, and called me brother, one after another. I wasn't disgusted. But I wasn't happy either. Brother. Has anyone ever said that your voice is very similar to someone? My sweetheart. Such cheesy love words, and an extremely frivolous attitude. I sent a series of ellipses and didn't plan to have any more contact with her. But she didn't know when to quit. I mean, you placed an order for me before. I can't take the money for nothing. So, shall we log in? Log in. I didn't really want to play games that much. I just suddenly wanted to hear her chattering. She sweet-talked to me and seemed to be very experienced in this. I softly taunted, full of lies. Immediately, I realized that by saying this, I was guiding her to refute. Sure enough, she immediately refuted. How could it be? I am 100% sincere without any falsehood. Although lies are false, they are pleasant to hear. I knew I was attracted to her. It didn't matter whether it was deception or driven by interests. I had such confidence and assurance to make her also pay with her true heart. But I found that things were gradually getting out of control. When I looked for her, she told me, "Young master, I am playing games with another boss. There is still one game left. I'll find you after I finish." I would feel annoyed. Can you not be a game companion? She was a bit surprised, but I like making money. I almost blurted out, "I'll give you money." But I finally held back. This is too cheap. It's like begging for her pity. I just coldly told her, "I understand." I found other game companions in her studio. It was fair. I had such freedom. But no other game companion was her. I couldn't listen to what they said. In the end, what I cared more about was, what kind of person is Lulu in your studio? Who is she playing with today? How much money has she earned? Is she happy? It wasn't enough to listen to others. I still wanted to hear her say it. So I asked her, "Are you happy playing with that boss?" She was stunned for a moment and then said what I wanted to hear smoothly. "Not really. Playing with baby is the happiest." I didn't want to hear these numbing lies. I wanted to see her true heart. hidden under the honey pot. Maybe a not so beautiful true heart. Don't you think there's something a bit too ambiguous between us? How could it be? Baby? I was silent for a long time. Finally, I said, why don't we give it a try? I want to meet you. I had envisioned many results. But I never expected that she would scold me badly and block me. I was so angry that I laughed. From originally not caring if I was rejected to now, I really want to see what kind of person this sharp-tongued person is. I found out her information overnight, and bought a plane ticket to fly to her city. After getting off the plane, the people from the Game Companion studio told me that she was still taking orders. She still had the mood to take orders. Not coming to pick me up. Pretending to be dead. Right? When I arrived downstairs at her house, I wanted to kick every stone I passed. But I recognized her at a glance. Hiding behind the curtain. Disheveled. Looking not so refined but extremely real. She had such pure eyes. Looking at me. Those eyes showed obvious guilt. She thought that as long as she wrapped herself up tightly, I wouldn't recognize her. But her sneaky appearance was so easy to recognize. I was angry and thought about how to make her look good. But it was all in vain with her. She was so good at giving in and always smiling. I took her to the restaurant she had mentioned, and bought the clothes she wanted. But there was always the smile she gave to that boy who gave her flowers echoing in my mind. Does she smile at everyone like this? I was too proactive. She became vigilant. Like a squirrel who has got a lot of nuts but is worried that humans will hurt her. Well, you won't be planning to make me fall in love with you and then dump me mercilessly to take revenge on me for insulting you, right? I hadn't thought of this. But her assumption made me a bit tempted. I followed her meaning and created an ambiguous atmosphere. So, have you fallen for it? Her eyes were turning. She was thinking of an excuse again. I knew I wouldn't hear her truth. Forget it. Don't say it. I don't want to hear it. I might have been too indulgent with her. She actually had the courage to say, I knew the young master wouldn't mind. After all, I am a game companion. It's very normal to call others baby when we are on voice chat. What's a bouquet of flowers? Right? Guessing by myself was one thing. Hearing her describe it herself was another. There was an evil fire burning in my heart. I had a strong desire to destroy. I was uncomfortable. So I wanted her to be uncomfortable too. Dang on. I directly invited her to a one-on-one duel. Among 7 parts of anger, there were 3 parts of shrewdness of a businessman. I knew this was a game. If it was too difficult at the beginning when I wanted her to be involved in this game, it definitely wouldn't work. If she thought she couldn't beat me for sure, she wouldn't have any competitive spirit at all. I had to fight back and forth with her, and make her feel evenly matched. Make her think that as long as she was serious, she could win. Without surprise. Just like countless business battles without gunpowder in the past. I won easily. She wailed. Convinced? Convinced. Obviously. She was severely frustrated. Her voice was listless. I sneered in my heart and thought, you deserve it. Because you made me so angry. So you deserve to be bullied by me. She began to resist my arrangements. I realized that she might really not like me. But so what? Anyway, she couldn't escape. If she didn't like my true nature, I could also disguise myself. Wrap myself up with a honey pot and become what she wanted. Anyway, it could only be me. She still couldn't help but ask, I heard that you are engaged. I understood what this meant in an instant. It wasn't that she didn't like me. It was just a misunderstanding. But why couldn't she try to trust me more? Why did she always keep a posture where she could turn around and escape at any time? Why wasn't she angry or questioning? As if I wasn't that important, and could be discarded at any time. But the way she tried to make me happy was very interesting. I wanted to see more. Money makes the mare go. Her best friend told me, actually, Abigail is vulnerable to the green tea type. Don't look at how sweet-talking she is. In fact, she is a super straight woman. The more green tea you are, the better. I understood immediately. Pretend to be a victim to arouse her sense of guilt and uneasiness. This was too simple. Finally, after coldly telling her that she had forgotten our anniversary of being in love, she took out her ring and proposed to me. Well, young master, this is what I saved up by working hard. Although it's not expensive, it's guaranteed to be genuine. I mean my heart. I knew she was a coward. If I took one step towards her, she would retreat 99 steps. Only taking the initiative to come to me could make her feel at ease. So it didn't matter. I could wait. Anyway, I had plenty of time to waste with her.